do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening? Today's topic is exploring the possibility of revisiting non-immigrant visa applications. Sorry, that's a bit wordy. What we're trying to do is share with you, okay? I'm going to share with you some non-immigrant visa options and see if you can come to America without being worried about permanent resident status, okay? Because, of course, permanent resident status, some of you are not qualified for that or eligible for it. So right now, there are other options for coming to America. So, for example, it's the L visa. So if you happen to be an executive, a co-founder of your company, entrepreneur, or maybe you're not yet, but you're thinking about it, we're wanting to help you really be proactive to think about the future. So this can be so right now, this is typically for people who are abroad outside America. And so here's the deal, because a lot of people call us and they say, oh, I filed my application, I actually got denied, and we could have resolved it. We could have got it approved, all right? But, ultimately, typically it's too late. It might not be worth it to file a 290B application to motion to reconsider, because maybe you didn't provide enough information to begin with, to show that you're eligible. So one example, so for today, we'll just talk about L visa as an example. That's for a person who's an executive or a manager. No, sometimes it's someone who already owns their own company, but they call themselves executive or manager. There's a third option for L visa, and that can be for what we call specialized knowledge. That's typically not the executive or manager. Which, by the way, folks, thank you so much for your questions. You're welcome to drop it down in the comment section below, and I'm going to try my best to answer it as quickly as possible, as we get a lot. Sometimes we get over like 100 or 200, at least on TikTok. I don't know what's up with Meta and Instagram, but algorithm is not as good. But I do see the questions on each platform, and so I'll get to it. I'm going to finish up with one common example about L visa. So some people are already in the U.S. and filed for this, or they're just waiting abroad. The first thing is that it requires that you've been working in that company for 1 year, okay? And it doesn't actually have to be recent, like current, present time right now, as long as it's within the last 3 years. So of course, if it's like 2 years ago, you really need to start the process as soon as possible. This could happen when it's, you've changed jobs in the last 3 years, and maybe you reconnected on LinkedIn with your prior employer, and you're like, and they mentioned to you, hey, you're a great worker. Do you want to go work in America? We're going to expand an office, or we got an office location over there in America. I think you're going to be a great fit, right? That could happen too. So it's always helpful, all right, if you have a resume that indicates that you have experience as an executive or manager. There's nothing black and white to say like you need 2 months experience or 1 year specific as executive or manager, but it certainly is helpful that you have past experience and in those type positions, and that you're qualified for that too, for the future, okay? And having a business plan. So in that sense, projections on what's going to happen in America, or what the reason why you're even been going there in the first place. Okay, so let's see. I do see some questions. I could talk on and on, of course, about that kind of scenario, but that was a red flag for a recent client that just signed up, is that they thought they knew what they were doing, right? So, and it happens, right? We're not trying to make people feel bad, but I'm sharing this right now as an example so that you could avoid that denial in the first place. Okay, but that was the very first thing we looked at. What did you consider yourself? What did you call yourself in the application? Turns out in all those letters, it mentioned I'm an executive, and another document said both executive and manager. So that's not going to fly with USCIS. That's totally confusing to them. Whoever's reviewing your application, you can only pick one. And the thing is, especially when you own your own business or you your own entrepreneur, or whatever you want to call yourself, a startup founder, it tends you tend to do everything, right? You wear a lot of hats. There's actually a software project management software called 17 Hats because they know their target audiences are people like me, where before I used to do literally everything. But now we've grown and we've delegated, hired people to do certain things. So that's been great for our team. So that's how you also have to think if you're thinking about getting L visa in America. Okay. So, anyways, now I'll get to the questions. Before I do that, if for some reason I don't get to your question, or if I do, but it's not as in depth, or you do have follow up questions, there's a couple ways to get in touch with us. Um, you go to our website. The best thing to do is really go to our website, because apparently I got banned on TikTok for sharing quote unquote personal details like our phone number and a website. So I'm going to try again. I'll just share the website at least. greencardguys.com. Okay. Go to that website, and it'll have the phone number. Go to contact page, and it has a form with answering some quick questions. Okay. And it actually allows you to self-schedule an appointment. Now, keep in mind, not everyone is qualified for our strategy session for 15 minutes. It can be for free. Now, I do have a secret code, so you want to write this down. Actually, if it's easier for you, just DM us so you don't forget, because if you're at work listening to us, I appreciate it. But DM us August 14th. Okay. Just 814, actually. 814. Okay. Every day I go live, it's going to be different. I might not even share a secret code for you, but share that code, whether you fill out the form yourself on our website, just put in code 814, and we'll help you out. But yeah, that helps our team prioritize at the end of the day, because we get a lot of inquiries. We appreciate it, but they can prioritize. Okay, now to the question, Jess. Can you keep working on E3 and get married and switch over the green card? Yes, you can, fortunately. So you can have non-immigrant status. That's great you have it. Most people don't have the opportunity to have status currently and then apply for another case. You can. Now, the thing is, I know most people you might be asking this because you're concerned about your prior non-immigrant intent. So that's the thing. You got to make sure, I kind of joke about this from time to time, but at the end of the day, it's serious. You want to make sure that this fiance is a real deal, right? Can't predict the future, but you go through this process. Even if you end up overstaying, fortunately, if your spouse, your fiance is a U.S. citizen, then it waives the unlawful presence. Okay, so that's very important that you know that, because I know a lot of people are distressed when they call us, and we share our screen, share what USCIS policy manual shows, that fortunately when you get sponsored by a U.S. citizen spouse, it waives the unlawful presence. Okay. Layla, you ask, attorney, how much is the payment if you want to process for a green card after a year? Do you mean for USCIS, like their payment, their government fee? I'm inferring that you don't have a green card yet. So it's not the I-90. That's to renew or replace, not to remove conditions. But if you're talking about like start to finish, first time residency, depending on your age, but typically if you're under 14, I don't think you have biometrics fee, which is $85. But in total, assuming I think they have it from like 14 years old all the way to 75, 85 years old, it's $1,760 for a government fee. I hope I don't get banned, but that's not my fee, by the way, TikTok. Okay, that's the government fee for USCIS. If you're filing a petition only I-130, then it's $535. Okay, I recommend you do not pay, but hot tip, do not pay by money order. Okay, because there's no way to track it. So there's two different ways. You can use a credit card form, which is a G1450. You can Google that, USCIS G1450, it'll pop up. So you can pay by credit card. If you do that, it has to be one credit card form G1450 per form. So because you shouldn't put 1760 on that one form. It's going to get rejected. Okay, so these are things we already know. So save you all that time. We're happy to help you. Or, you get paid by check the old school way. Okay, Tracy, can a step parent file for stepchild over 18 who has overstayed? Yes. However, that marriage relationship with the biological parent, so your spouse, has to have occurred before the child turned 18. So that's very important. Some people wait a little bit too late. I remember talking to someone that said they got married like when that person was 18 years old in one day. I was like, oh my goodness, the timing. What a small world in that sense. So hopefully that's the case. If not, the other way is that your spouse, the biological parent, will have to file as a resident for your adult stepdaughter. Okay, which would be a family preference. And then you said overstay, so then your stepdaughter will have to be eligible for waiver, which would be the case, at least for the biological parent having resident status. Okay, assuming, of course, you help the spouse already get resident status. Candy, let's see, you're on F1. You're not able to find any company to sponsor you. Is there any way to go get a green card? So, Candy, thanks for the question. We're actually working on some content to help people basically build up their resume. We're not trying to say we're like a resume workshop. Maybe we could do that. I could hire someone to do that and help you all out. But really to help search, we're going to have some videos for free, no cost. We're going to have some paid content. Okay, helps you more in depth on things to consider. At the end of the day, it's almost basically trying to give you confidence in building your resume up, building your experience, especially also for folks who are interested in national interest waiver. We got a lot of inquiries about that because you're trying to cut the processing time, skip some steps, but a lot of people are not qualified for that right now. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then let's see here. But yeah, I mean, really, it's for most people, since you are here in F1, don't give up. Okay, I don't know what year you are in school, but just one thing you should know, Candy. I think that's your question. Some guidance here is that definitely, you're not doing this. I mean, because you're asking me this question, but definitely don't wait until your senior year or the year that you're graduating to start looking for company sponsors. So, really, a thing to do is looking for people looking for internships. So if you're like first year, second year, third year, look for those internships. You want to build that connection with a company first. Because yeah, it is difficult to just go straight to like, hey buddy, can you give me a green card? Like HR is doesn't typically like to do that unless you're like in a professional type occupation and they're more willing, like a dentist or something like that, or like a medical field. Let's see. I'm going to switch over to Instagram real quick, Maria. Sweet Mo 85. Hopefully you're still on. Your mom passed away on Friday. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that. I think you've commented on our channel before. What can you do to travel for the funeral? So I don't know your immigration situation status, but if you DM us and you're hopefully you're on, you can DM us so I have a better idea because unless you're here, you can comment back your situation specifically. Because there's different answers depending on if you're a resident or your case is pending, but you're eligible for advanced parole. Hopefully you're in the green card process or you have TPS or DACA holder and you can apply for 131. The problem though is 131 application takes a long time. So hopefully you already filed it before. So that's why it's part of our process, folks. If you're applying for some kind of benefit or application with the USCIS and you ask us to help you out, we always include the 131 application if you're eligible for it. Now, if you apply for DACA and TPS, it's not by default. It's not included with those applications. It's separate because USCIS requires a separate fee for that. Where right now, when you're applying for residency, 131 is no extra charge right now for the government fee. It's included. But their final rule to increase the fees, which I think was in March, was finalized, but they haven't published it. They haven't implemented those increased fees. But when they do, they're going to keep that 131 fee separate moving forward for any application. Okay, so keep that in mind. By the way, folks, if you appreciate the information we share, even if it's not relevant to you, please tap the screen on TikTok or hit the hearts on Instagram or the thumbs up on Facebook and YouTube. All right. On TikTok, apply for Y130 for your brother. It's been 13 years now. How much longer you need to wait? Okay. Great question. So it's basically like a 3-step process. Number one is the petition itself. Sounds like you haven't had that approved yet. Otherwise, you probably would have said it's been approved. So, but as you probably know, and I'll share on YouTube and Facebook my screen because it allows me to. Visa bulletin. Well, what is your priority date for the person I just asked this question? Sorry, I don't know how to read your name on this. Okay. But I want to share the screen here on Facebook and YouTube at least. So what I like to do is share the screen. So any of those, if y'all are TikTok, Instagram, you're like, why can't John share the screen? I don't think there's any software that allows it. So you're gonna have to jump to greencardguys.tv if you got a browser. Okay, so the September 23 bulletin is the upcoming one. If I scroll down to chart B for let's see, family-based chart B, and let us know which country your sibling, your brother is at. But right now they're working on cases of a prior date March 2008, and you said something about like 13 years, I believe. So it's been 13 years, and we're just inferring that your priority date has not reached yet, because maybe your priority date is about 2010, around that time. So just roughly speaking, maybe a year and a half to 2 years. Okay, more wait time until the next step. Okay, so maybe pretty soon, the next 2 years, they're going to tell you to. Now, keep in mind what the date I just said was for country nationalities are not China, not India, not Mexico, not the Philippines, because they tend to need to wait longer. Okay, so this is a wonderful question, because in using government websites for immigration, they don't explain very thoroughly like where to check step by step or what to do. So that's the reason for an attorney. We're happy to help. 99%, we focus on immigration, all right, to help y'all solve your immigration problem, maybe prevent it from happening in the first place, folks. We receive a lot of questions of so many problems, so we're happy to help. All right, so I can go on and on about the visa bulletin. It's not my favorite subject because it's annoying to deal with, but we're happy to. It's a very important topic, of course. Annoying because, unfortunately, a lot of people have problems. Maybe they missed the priority date and it's too late. All right, Tammy, when can I leave you a company after getting a green card through EB3? Ooh, that is the question that employers in HR don't like. They don't want people to leave after they paid all that money to get a green card for you. So this is a sensitive topic. I get it. And also the law says that it has to be a bona fide offer. So you've got the green card. That's wonderful. Congratulations. You probably went through a long process, probably at least 2 years, not even looking at the visa bulletin. But the thing is, the law doesn't actually say how long you have to be, quote unquote, forced to stay with that employer. So there's not a black and white timetable in that sense. But if you, if you get another, if the thing is, it just relates back to the focus of at the time of the bona fide offer, the job offer. Okay. Now, again, I haven't done any thorough research to see like, has anyone sued or anything like that? I suspect that if a company was going to sue someone like you, which hopefully not, but if that were the case, then that would be the state court, not a federal court. So maybe hire someone to check for you, to double check. But even though you could file in state court, it could be moved up to the federal court. But anyway, I mean, the thing is, you want to speak with an employment lawyer who helps employees also, because especially if you have a non-compete, that's very important. So not just the immigration issue. But to hopefully give you a little more detailed answer. Some people have to leave after 1 month, some 2 months. So hopefully that gives you an idea. There's again, nothing that says specifically you have to stay X amount of time. Okay, let's see here. So on TikTok, came through the border. Will it be easier to receive a green card through marriage? So when you say came through the border, I'm inferring that you entered without inspection, without a visa. So you still can get residence status, but usually when people say, "Can I still get a green card in America?" Like literally, people are asking, like, "Do I have to leave?" So if a person like yourself, was it Doho Life? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your TikTok name, but if you have to, if a person has entered America, some will say illegally, some will say without documentation, without a visa, then the default is that yes, eventually you have to leave the United States for the visa interview. However, if this is a marriage-based case, I'm sorry, if you enter without a visa, well, first you want to speak to a lawyer one-on-one to make sure, just double check to see if you qualify for an exception. Even though sounds like you recently entered America, maybe you qualify for an exception. For example, maybe you had a family member file for you a long time ago who's not a spouse before April 30th, 2001. So that's an exception. That's called 245I. So otherwise, if not, you don't qualify for exception, then you need to see if you qualify for a waiver, 601A. So it's a waiver, family unity waiver, so you can actually stay in America. You don't have to leave during the process of the waiver. However, eventually you would have to leave America for the visa interview. Okay. So the waiver, if you overstayed for more than over 180 days, that triggers the 3-year bar restriction. If you overstay by 1 year, which is most people, 99% of people, then you have a 10-year bar at the time you leave the country, United States. So that's why the approval notice of the 601A application is very important. Okay. Sorry. Some people might say, yeah, quick question, but I have a long answer. So let's see. Jassy, how long does it usually take to get a replacement naturalization certificate? I don't have the processing times with like in my head about that one specifically, but usually, especially if it was like an I-90 replace renew green card, even though it should be like a rubber stamp type application, um, it's very slow. So it could take like 2 to 5 months on average, but you can get an idea by checking USCIS. Just Google search USCIS processing times, and it should take you straight there. Okay, make sure it's that .gov website. Brittany, you will meet with us this week. Excited to talk about your case. Yeah, happy to help you, Brittany. Thanks so much for taking those steps to get yourself scheduled. I think you may have self-scheduled, so that's great. Looking forward to. I believe a team member called you on Saturday. We have a team member, by the way, folks, that works a few hours on Saturday, but they might follow up with you, or one of them will. So our CARES team specialist, which is a great time to mention, folks. We do offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you, but it's not for everyone. Okay, it's not automatic for everyone. Even if you're able to self-schedule, like Brittany has, she's already talked to a team member, so she qualifies for that free 15. And but it's not for everyone. But it also does help to use this secret code. Okay, for today it's 814. That's the secret code. So just DM us so you don't forget about it. And then, but if you have time, you go to our website, greencardguys.com, click on contact us, and you can put the code in there as well. All right. My work permit has been a year. My work permit has been a year since I applied for renewal, but nothing yet. What should you do? Okay, so I think you mean the I-90 form. Again, that's one of those forms that should be. Oh wait, work permit 765. Even that I feel like should be rubber stamp, especially if you already did your biometrics. And it's a renewal. I don't know why. More people tend to get a renewal application for 765 delayed for a long time, like at least a year. It's ridiculous. So try to expedite. Call the USCIS contact center, which, by the way, our buddy Emma USCIS website chat has gone missing. I haven't seen her pop up like a normal, like on the USCIS website. So hopefully she resurfaces. I wish her the best to come back because it usually makes it a lot faster to submit the expedite request via Emma, the website chat, which by the way is supposed to be a real person. So maybe Emma got downgraded. I don't know, but otherwise the default is you have to call in to the USCIS customer service line, which folks they try their best, but the problem with this currently, the past 2 months at least, is that it's a what's it called? It's a hassle right now. It's an automated bot, so it's hard to get through. Okay, so good luck with that. All right, Bree, you're under EB3 immigrant visa. You changed your employer after 8 months. Will it affect your visa? When you say under EB3, do you mean that you're currently working for the company that is sponsoring you, or you already have the resident card through that company? That I need to know so hopefully Maria you can find their future comment follow up. But you say after 8 months, I yeah, I need to know a little bit more information about that. But just to quickly just try to give you some answer to, is that if you're talking about like I mentioned a prior person that answered this similar question, if you already have the resident card through that company, 8 months I would say is definitely safe to change companies if you already have the resident card. But yeah, most people are concerned about like if it's like you literally just got the green card through that company. I want to switch over to Instagram. I don't think that person's on anymore. Man, Instagram is just doesn't have good algorithm. But someone said need personal assistance, please. When I see personal assistance, I think mean like carrying stuff or something. But if you're talking about immigration, I don't know if you're joking around. But Jackie, happy to help if it's immigration related. Okay, you just need to go to greencardguys.com, fill out the form, answer a few questions, and self schedule with our code 814. And that's for today. I'm not going to make it as easy like that in the future. I just couldn't think of anything else at the moment. Let's see. And of course, folks, you can always give us a call directly. If you go to our phone number right up here on YouTube and Facebook, you can see it. And you'll speak with our CARES team specialist, which, by the way, folks, they don't have a law degree. They don't have a law license. They are trained to understand better the context and the different types of cases and the common problems, but they're not lawyers, so they can't give you legal advice. I know a lot of people tend to ask those questions, but our CARES team will ask you what your questions are, your main question, because, as you see from the live show, I love to share information. So, and lose my voice over it. Okay, Kiki Monchichi. That's do I still need H-1B if I have 7655 EAD card while waiting for 485? Yes, absolutely. Just because you never know what's going to happen. I'm assuming 40. Well, is your 485 based on a spouse or is it based on employment, like for EB? I'm assuming it's actually based on EB. So you definitely want to continue maintaining your H-1B or non-immigrant status if you're legally able to. So hopefully that helps. Because if for whatever reason the 485 is delayed or whatnot, and plus technically the 245K only covers 180 days of unlawful presence. And it's just one of those like complex. I don't know why it's complex, but some people think like, oh, you filed the 45, so you're safe. I just recommend continue renewing it. Plus, your employer is supposed to pay for it. Okay, Miss Bode in quotations, Bode. Do I have it right? If you have a marriage green card from Nigeria, you're a U.S. citizen. Is this enough for travel in and out of Nigeria? Okay, well, I actually don't know the visa rules of Nigeria to enter, but so for people coming into America, some country we have something called ESTA visa waiver. So maybe Nigeria and USA have something like that. I'm surprised I don't know this, but we don't handle outbound. We don't handle outbound. We handle inbound. So hopefully it helps. But I'm sure you'll find that answer on the internet for that one. And I think I answered I think I understood your question on that. But in general, folks, you say marriage GC. So I wonder, are you currently married? So if you're not married yet and you're engaged or you're considering to propose or he or she is proposing, you want, and some of y'all think you're thinking about the first thing you think about is fiance visa, the K1 visa. We recommend against it if you had the option to get married. Okay. You don't have to get married in person. As long as you, hot tip right here, hope you're all listening. There's remote marriage has been allowed by USCIS because it's allowed in Utah County, Utah. You don't have to live there. You don't have to show residence requirements. Now, of course, this is information we read from the government county, Utah County website. Maybe they changed it. I don't know, but it's still, as of today, it's still the same. And I say I don't know because by the time you watch this video again, especially on YouTube and Facebook, they could have changed it. So you always want to double check. Okay, Bree, thanks for Maria for finding the file comment. You have resident card now. Okay, great. And a different employer who sponsored, and it's from an employer who sponsored your green card originally. Okay, the visa. Okay, so I mean, in general, yeah, there's, as I mentioned to a prior person, there's no black and white timing, no strict timing on how long you have to wait, but it's America. You can work for any employer. Okay, they don't, unless you have like a non-compete. Okay, so if you have a non-compete agreement with your current employer, then you definitely want to speak with an employment lawyer who helps employees, because usually, especially when you Google search, just like employment lawyer only, it tends to probably be like they only help employers. So you might want to, if you're in Texas, I know plenty of employment lawyers for employees. So, but if you're outside Texas, I'm happy to ask my colleagues. Okay, Amy Bacayo, do you need? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Do you need get a CINOMAR from Philippines if you're petitioning your fiance as K1? Okay, so if you're petitioning for K1, typically. So when I was just checking, it's been a while, but what I was checking is a visa travel.state.gov, okay, website, and you want to go to reciprocity documents. Let me click on US visas. And if you DM us, I can send, one of us on the marketing team or myself can send you this website. But as I mentioned before, we typically encourage people get married. So you're talking about fiance visa, but let me click on P for the Philippines, or try to. Okay, that's weird. It's not allowing me to click on it for some reason. Oh, okay, there we go. Philippines. Yeah, some countries do require, including like Vietnam, they require a document like that. So I believe what I see right now is, yeah, they talk about Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA. You do have to get it from them, saying you're not married right now. I believe that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, have to show that you're single. It's kind of silly because if you were married, then you would have a divorce order. But I know Philippines is very difficult to get a divorce. I think it's like, we tried before for a client, or at least research that. It's like nearly impossible. Unless there's like really one specific scenario. I can't remember, like annulment or something like that maybe. So hopefully that helps, Amy. Let's see. Any questions on YouTube? Okay, we're good there. Okay, so I can stay on for about 5 more minutes, but I just want to share with y'all again, if you're just tuning in, we do offer a consultation strategy session at no cost to you for 15 minutes. All right, so not everyone's qualified, but our system does allow you to self-schedule. So we're getting booked up. I think it could be like a 1 week or 1 or 2 weeks booked out. So of course, if someone schedules sooner or doesn't need to meet anymore, but they just want to receive a quote, then if the time opens up, then if you share the code 814 today, the secret code, then our cares team will prioritize your case or your strategy session to be moved up earlier. Okay. But also keep in mind, yes, not for everyone. Even if you share the code and our cares team specialists see it's not necessarily a situation that we help with. For example, like some people are outside America and they're resident, we tend not to provide consultation on that because we have a free guide about it. And sometimes people contact us and they've been out for more than a year. And at that point, it's likely too late. So you would have to refile. Okay. So, okay, back to Cesar. How you know? Shoot, I missed that question. Okay, let me go to this butterfly one real quick. You're pregnant. Congratulations. Your husband's I-130 case just got sent to the NVC. Can it be expedited due to your pregnancy? Man, just the pregnancy alone, more power to you. But unfortunately, pregnancy alone is not enough. We could try, but imagine if everyone is pregnant and then NVC allows it. NVC does allow expedite, but they're even more strict than USCIS. So I wish you all the best in your pregnancy, no complications, but lately they have allowed expedite requests when there have been some kind of complication. But I wish you all the best in your health in your pregnancy. Sorry, Maria, can you find that other comment? I missed it. I talk too much and I forget it. Let's see. I'm going to pin this one. I found it. Cesar. Under review. Why does it say that? Did I hit the wrong button? Sorry. I just meant to say pin this comment. Okay. How do I know when USCIS already checked my criminal records? I think you mean more for biometrics. That could be ongoing. I mean, if you're looking for the work permit, typically it could be like under a month. But if it's for adjustment of status for residency and you don't get your interview waived, then they technically could look at it up until your interview. Now they're not constantly looking at your file in general, but because even officers, when you go to the local field office, USCIS, you get scheduled for, let's say, like tomorrow or something, right? You get advance notice a couple weeks. It doesn't mean they reviewed it in full like a week before or even like the hour before. They just usually, I've never worked for USCIS, but my general sense having been in the interview room and they're literally flipping through everything, it looked like this for the first time. So yeah, they try their best from my understand, and because they try their best to look at it, I think I would say at least a month roughly after biometrics, because not to say the timing is going to be exact, but there's been a situation where USCIS, which is really rare. I think one time last year that they sent us RFE asking for more criminal documents, and we knew it was coming up because we always ask clients to provide us those documents in advance so that we can share that with USCIS. So sometimes clients have difficulty, or we have difficulty getting those criminal records in time before we file. So that could be a reason that they look at the criminal record as well. Okay. They don't look at it during the normal processing and to say like, oh, you're denied or something, that you'll get a chance to typically respond to notice of intent to deny or RFE. So hopefully that helps. Blah, blah, blah. How do I get O1 visa for photography? So there is a petition, I-129, to file for it. I mean, there's a lot to mention about O1 visa, but I mean, yeah, I should have been ready to talk about it, but maybe I can mention that next week. I need to record that because I know there's a lot of photographers and other people in a similar position that want to, or just people in general that want to get an O1 visa. So, but it is possible to, let's see. All right. So, but if you have a more specific question, I can help you with that, but it's pretty broad. I don't want to talk all day. Got to answer these questions fast. Sorry. Link, is it okay to travel with AP while waiting for your VAWA? the first two things we always look at is, do you have an asylum application pending? If so, or even if it's, yeah, if it's pending, which makes sense because you have VAWA right now. If it's pending, then of course don't go to that specific country of your nationality, the country you fled. But do you have any arrests? Do you have any plea deals, probation, conviction history? I had to say it all that way because some people think like, okay, I was arrested, but my case still pending. That will still be a problem for you if you leave. So, but other than that, if it's a completely clean record and you haven't filed for asylum, or you have filed for asylum but you're going to a different country, then generally speaking, yes, you can go. Knock on wood. All our clients who we quote unquote allowed, gave permission, I guess, they've been able to come back. But anyone who has a criminal history, we absolutely say no, do not leave until you get the green card. And actually, sometimes have to wait until you become a U.S. citizen. Depends on the situation. Inder Walia. Is it easier to file for removal, a condition for marriage-based green card, but you're based, but I'm going through, I think maybe you had a second comment that I can't find right now, but sounds like you were going to say something else. No, I can't find it. Thanks, blah, blah, blah. You're looking out for the video. We'll try to have a short, well, actually, I think TikTok allows for 10 minutes now. Not that I would record a 10-minute video on TikTok, but we'll also have it a short version on TikTok and a little bit longer on YouTube and Facebook. Well, not Facebook. On the playlist. Divorce. Okay, gotcha. We're going through divorce. Okay. Wish you all the best on that. I know that's difficult. In Texas, at least, if one person wants divorce, we call it no grounds divorce, or not at fault. Okay, meaning you can get divorced for no reason at all, essentially. So it's going to happen. So knowing that, okay, it will help you not just emotionally, but also immigration wise, is that even if whether you filed remove condition application or not yet, and you don't have the divorce order, like the case is not completed yet, it's okay. The instructions say you need a divorce order, but on our practice, our colleagues at least provide a petition. The petition is the first legal document for your divorce case, which has the allegations, basically, when you separated, when you got married, things like that, and the reason for the divorce or the grounds for divorce. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Oh, is it easier? Oh, okay, I read your question again. Is it easier to get removed conditions for marriage, or when you're still married, or divorced? I think that's what you're really trying to ask. It's not so much what's easier, because at this point sounds like it's already happening, the divorce case. So it's really more about telling USCIS the truth, because you don't want to file based on marriage. Yeah, sure, you're legally married still, it sounds like, but you're going through divorce. So you might as well tell USCIS and check mark divorce, because the thing is, even if you do it based on marriage, we call it joint remove conditions, your spouse needs to sign it. So don't even waste time with that, right? Just go ahead and check mark the one, like the basis, I think it's page 1 or page 2, that's based on divorce or waiver. Okay, so hopefully that helps, because you don't want to be waiting to file this and then the deadline passed to do it and you get referred to court. Okay, and I can imagine when someone's going through divorce, you got a lot of things to think about. All right, so just be more upfront with USCIS to begin with. Okay, so let's see what else I want to share with y'all. Okay, so we're at 44 minutes. I want to make sure Instagram, I didn't miss any questions there. Okay, V on TikTok, how long will it take to get receipt notice for AOS? It's been a month with a G1450. 14. Okay, so you pay by credit. Oh, you pay by credit card. So you may have done this. Make sure if your credit card was charged yet. And I'm assuming you sent it by tracking. So maybe USPS tracking, Priority, or Express, or FedEx. Then as long as you know it's been received. Okay, that's step number 1. Then number 2 is how long will it take, right? To answer your question directly, average 3 to 5 weeks to get the receipt notice, especially for AOS. If it's a different case type like VAWA, I don't know why VAWA with Vermont Service Center, they take a hell of a long time, like a couple months. I don't know what is going on over there. They need to change the leadership to be uh, to be better for y'all. Uh, okay, let me pin links question. Is speeding ticket a criminal violation? It's a traffic citation, traffic violation. So I think what you're trying to say is, should you put that on your maybe I don't remember what your prior question is, but because I have so many questions to answer, but it's it's definitely asked on your N400. Okay. And also, I mean, also on the 45. So I think your question was about residency to begin with, but um, I believe on the 45 application, they may put in parentheses like all crime. Have you convicted of a crime or whatnot, or plea deal, whatnot, except traffic violations? I think it goes into that detail. But if it's the N400, even though it's not something that will be a conditional or permanent bar, we always suggest clients to just go ahead and share that information, even if it's a traffic violation. And some of y'all might have like 10 plus traffic violations. KD Lavish Pieces. What's up? If your priority date pass, does USS have to make a decision, marriage-based case? So when you say that, you say priority date, I'm assuming that your sponsor is a resident, because that'd be F2A. Okay. Is that what your category, or your sponsor is a resident? Otherwise, if your sponsor is a U.S. citizen, then you don't need to look at the visa bulletin. Okay, um, assuming you're in the America. If you're not in America, well, actually, yeah, even if you're in America or not, um, a citizen. Okay, great. So that you don't have to worry about what's it called, the visa bulletin or PD, because on the petition it will still show PD, which I don't know why they would need that anymore. But yeah, you're good to go. So if you're in America, then hopefully you're eligible to file 45. But if you're outside America, then yeah, you still don't need to worry about the visa bulletin, because that's based on family preference categories. I feel like that was a long answer. Hopefully, I answered it to begin with. By the way, this is a quick break here. If you enjoy the information that I shared, or it's helpful to your friend, family member, yourself, please tap the screen on TikTok, hit the hearts on Instagram, and give me a thumbs up on YouTube and Facebook. We greatly appreciate it. And by the way, if you have already had a chance to speak with our CARES team specialist or one of our attorneys in a consultation, we greatly appreciate it if you leave us a review at www.reviewteenlaw.com. Hopefully, TikTok does not ban me for telling you a website. It's just, they're just so picky. Okay, Osti, I remember your name before. Can my green card? So thanks for tuning back in. Can my green card holder father file for you while you're in the U.S. to adjust status? Only if you have maintained non-immigrant status. If you haven't and you overstayed your visa, then it's too late. Okay, it's too late for the 45, unless you qualify for an exception, like for VAWA or something different, which would be a completely different basis of application for residency. But then your father, I think you said father is a resident, so then father or mother, if a resident or U.S. citizen, then you qualify for the 601 family unity waiver. Okay, folks. So hopefully that's helpful to you. But you cannot, by the way, you can't file the waiver application 601A until your petition is approved. So it's kind of, it is annoying, because right now USCIS is taking 44 months to process the waiver application. So that's why, folks, don't wait. Don't wait at all. Is traffic violation enough for reason to be stopped at border when coming back to US with AP? No, but if you have a warrant out for your arrest because you didn't pay the ticket, or you didn't comply with all the terms and conditions of that transaction, basically, then yeah, you gotta take care of that. So I mean, most people say they're gonna take care of it, but they forget things happen in life. So you're asking me questions about this, make sure you look today to make sure it's all taken care of. All right. Maybe it's a long time ago. I think you said earlier speeding ticket. So, because some people don't want to confess to a DUI, DWI, and some people call that traffic violation. So in that situation, you definitely do not want to travel. If you've been drinking under the influence or DWI, you got charged with that. Do not leave America. Okay, do not. That's very important. But is a speeding ticket criminal? Yet, I wanted to follow up on that original question. It's typically like in Texas, those kind of tickets will go to municipal court. So that is usually like a Class C misdemeanor, and it's considered like a civil violation, not criminal. Okay, when it's a municipal court. If it's criminal court, then obviously it's criminal. But typically, criminal courts don't handle that in Texas. Okay, so we're going to be on, I said 5 minutes like a while ago. We're going to stay on for 5 more minutes, okay? And the code, by the way, for secret code to get prioritized for your strategy session for no cost to you, 15 minutes, is 814. Okay, this is today's date. 814. If you're looking for a different code and you forget, it's going to be different tomorrow because it's definitely not 814 anymore. So, or 814. You have not overstayed. Okay, great. So maybe you're on F1 or something like that, or you're dependent, you're like H4 or something. That'd be great if you maintain that. But yeah, if it shows current, then go for it. Okay, which I think I just had. If it shows current or your visa bill, your priority is current in general for that. Yeah, go for it. So hopefully you're under. Hopefully you're under 21 because that'd be the F2A. Because over 21, then you're that shows prior date of September 2015 for most other countries. Okay, let's see here. Lollipops, absolutely. You're welcome to ask a question, which, by the way, I won't be able to get to everyone's question. We're getting close to it. Oh, you're on visitor visa. It's not going to work because your visitor visa is only good for like 6 months usually. I mean, the I-94 specifically. So your 45 is likely not going to get approved. You could try, but first of all, it has to show current based on your prior date. So if it's going to show, yeah, I don't know what your prior date is. So hopefully that helps. But just realistically, and it's not a marriage case. Marriage cases are the ones that are prioritized to be processed sooner, like 3 to 5 months. Some clients we had like in 1 week. It's pretty crazy, but average 3 to 5 months. Okay. Carisha Hamilton, you're a green card holder. Congratulations. You have legal guardianship for your niece living with you for a year. Can you get green card? I think maybe you meant for your niece. You have to contact us directly because we have to check if guardianship is enough to show that the family relationship. But typically, you gotta get adopted. Okay, so to be safe as possible, you want to go to if the niece is under 16, then you want to get adopted ASAP through your state. Okay, do not wait on that because I'm pretty sure, but we can double check if you contact us. That guardianship is not counted for the I-130 purposes. Okay. Lollipops, you and your boyfriend are planning to get married. Congratulations on that decision. It's not an easy one, but he's not a citizen and has worked here at US for a long time. So, but are you a citizen or you're a resident? Who's got what? Are you sponsoring your boyfriend or you're going to be sponsored? He has the, oh, okay. I see another comment. He has DACA. Okay. So he has DACA. And assuming he had illegal entry, you're the U.S. citizen, great. So if he has not, so DACA holders are eligible to apply for advanced parole, but it's just not, you just can't just file it by itself. You have to give a reason. That's one of the qualifying reasons on the 131 instruction page. Usually like, let's say, for example, through your job, like a job conference, a work conference, maybe family members passed or on a deathbed, unfortunately, something serious like that. And family member is actually not specified on the 131 instruction. So can be a bit broad, and that could be a good thing for you. So the purpose and all that is really better you and your fiance contact us or boyfriend, contact us, get scheduled for a consultation because we of course have a lot more information to share. And I got less than 2 minutes. Okay. But the goal here is to get have a advanced parole, so you get legal entry, and you actually do have to travel and come back. Otherwise, you need to apply for a waiver. That's a long story short. Okay, folks, I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for your questions. I got to head out. So in the meantime, just one last thing. If you haven't heard earlier, today's code, secret code is 814. Send us a DM if you're busy and you don't want to forget. Just send us a DM, a direct message, or whatever you want to call it, Facebook message. So we'll send you that link on where to fill out the form, answer a couple questions. Okay. Okay, lollipops. That's a pretty broad question, so give us a call or we'll answer it during a strategy session. Okay. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care now, and we'll be on back tomorrow. Okay. See you later. Yeah, tap the screen. Give us a like. Appreciate it. Bye.